Yo, we're immediately back for more Animal Crossing. Let's see, what do I want to do? Make a fishing rod, I guess? Should I use the iron even though I need the iron for the shop? Kinda guess so. I should probably put the workbench that I built outside. Do I even have enough stuff to make a fishing rod? I guess I could just buy it from this guy. I'm just gonna buy two. Alright. Time to manage our inventory. I guess I should have sold some shit to that guy while I was in there. Wonder how ridiculous the crafting is gonna get with like needing a lot of stone or something. It's kind of crazy that I already have a duplicate fossil. Damn, that fossil really wasn't worth anything. Okay, well, I'm gonna go fishing. So this is just probably gonna be mostly a fishing episode. Let's see. How do you guys feel about open water? Or like really deep water? 'Cause really deep water kind of freaks me out. Like I've been in just like a lake or a river that was pretty deep and I couldn't see the bottom of it. It just freaked me out. Like, I kept imagining that there'd be something big down there that could like eat me whole. Whoa. Olive flounder. I don't know if I already have one of those or not. But yeah, it's like, if you can't see the water, or the bottom of the water, it really feels like there's probably something giant down there. And when I'm swimming along, even if it's like sort of shallow, just how exposed my like stomach is to the water, like, just feels like very vulnerable. And I don't like it. I think that's probably one of my biggest fears. I wonder if that's an irrational fear or just like a legitimate fear. I guess it's irrational because there aren't really that many things that would bother me in the fresh water that I've been in. I've never, well, maybe I've swam in the ocean. I don't know if it really counts. I feel like I've mostly just like walked in the ocean. But usually when I've been at oceans, the water has always been too cold to swim in. So maybe I've never actually swam in the ocean. Not sure if I'd really want to, given how much stuff there is in the ocean. It's pretty freaky. Like, I went to Fredericton one time, and I remember we scooped some water and like sand up from one of the beaches, and we just kept it for a while. And I looked into it like 3 days later, and there was just all these like little worm things wriggling around in it, and it was gross. So that's just like how it kind of just always there, and yeah, I didn't like it. Alright, let's see if I can catch this, like, grasshopper or whatever this thing is. Nice. Got him. Oh, stink bug. Great. Not a big fan of everything just breaking. Very Breath of the Wild of them. Again, guy. Just stay awake while I'm playing. We already did this once. Only the stink bug. God, I already know you don't like bugs. Let's see. So what was I talking about? The time that we went to Fredericton and got some sand and it was gross. Yeah, and that's just what the ocean is like all the time, I guess. That was kind of a neat family trip. And I remember one time my mom drove my sister and I down to Florida when I was like 12. Apparently we had gone when I was a baby, but I don't remember that at all. But we went to Myrtle Beach. They had a cool aquarium there that I liked. You could pet stingrays, and they had horseshoe crabs. So that was cool. Whoa, is that a bee? Oh yeah, my net broke. Frig. Man, what a burn. So, I guess fossils. Oh, whoa, more rocks. Maybe I could get some iron nuggies from them. Yeah, you guys ever find fossils? I think, for the most part, finding fossils, I've never found anything that cool, but I have found like spirally helix type fossils in rocks along the shores near my mom's house. They're just I don't know, what can I say? Kinda neat. But I don't think they're a big deal to anyone. Sometimes my brother has found like really clear ones. Oh shit, guys, am I gonna get enough iron nuggets? Seems like no. Man, that bee is chill though. I guess I should probably get another net before I miss out on more bees and such. Oh yeah, this is the like central island within my island, surrounded by 2 waterfalls. kind of chose the island because I think the idea of an island is cool. But I know it's going to be inconvenient when they only let you build one bridge at a time. But maybe it'll be cooler to just not have any bridges to the island. It'll just be like my space that the other animals can't get to. Kind of wondering if there's any more rocks on my island. Doesn't really seem like it. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you an odd or awkward story about when we went to Florida and Myrtle Beach. Alright, so this has happened like day one of us being in Myrtle Beach. We went during March break, and it was kind of hard to find a place to stay, like hotel-wise. You know, I'm like 12. I don't know how the internet works, and my mom is old, and I guess using the internet is like kind of a new thing. Like when we got there, oh frig, we were just using a paper map to navigate our way down there. Which sounds crazy nowadays, like why would anyone ever do it like that? But I guess that's just how it was, you know? So we were doing that, and we got down there and we found a place to stay eventually. I think like, it wasn't that hard. It was like our second or third hotel that we checked. They had a vacant room. And after that, we went to restaurant Waffle House. And I like Waffle House. But when we were there, we met these two army guys who were, I guess, taking a break or whatever. And I think maybe I was 14 when this happened, because then my sister would have been 16, and then the army guys would have been like 18 or 19, like fresh out of high school army bros. And they were talking to my sister and her friend, and we're like, oh, so which hotel are you guys staying at? And my sister didn't say what the hotel was, and I was like, oh, thank God. My sister is like a reasonable person, not telling these weirdos where we're gonna be for the next week. And then after like talking to them for like 5 more minutes, she says, oh, I remember where we were staying now, and tells them the name of the hotel. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you just let these guys know where we're gonna be? And of course, you guys know what happens next. The next day, we see them checking in to the same hotel. I was like, oh my god. Creepy. But nothing too weird really happened after that. Like, we did see them again, but I don't know. They're just army guys. He didn't do anything too creepy. But, yeah, that was one of the things that I remember from that trip. I don't know, I also remember being, allowed to just kind of like do whatever. And I would go to the beach on my own sometimes. That was cool. Dug a hole in the sand so I could lie on the ground with like my back flat on the ground and my head like slightly in the sand, but like just the right amount, you know, so I could be lying perfectly flat. Yeah. But it was March, so I think all the Florida people were like, what's this crazy kid doing hanging out on the beach? It's freezing cold out here kind of thing. Alrighty. See, why is this telling me things? Oh, I guess I gotta earn bells by selling items. Maybe I should pay attention to this. Grow fruit trees. Chop some wood. Sell fruit. Sell clumps of weeds. Catch a wharf roach. Alright. Saw a wharf roach earlier. Didn't really want anything to do with it though. Oh yeah, that message in the bottle. You found it, you found it! Weird DIY TV show I watched at 2 a.m. Okay. Basically I get a DIY recipe. I don't even know what this is. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. One of those like doll things. Coconut juice. Wonder if I need coconuts for that. Probably. The regular fishing rod. I'll just stick with the flimsy ones I have for now. You know, until I get that shop built. But I should buy another net. Let me see if those wharf roaches are still there. You know, collecting all these animals, kind of neat. You guys ever been to a zoo? It's been a long time since I've ever been to a zoo. I think I like kind of remember going to the Toronto Zoo, but that was a long time ago that I would have done that. But I remember there was like an animal sanctuary zoo type thing somewhere sort of near Belleville, and they had like lions and weird stuff like that. It was like weird how exotic of the animals that they had. Like I think they even had like a monkey or like a baboon. And I remember seeing its like red butt and being like, that looks bad. Like if that was on a human, you'd be like, you have a problem. But I guess that's just how baboon butts are. But yeah, kind of a neat place. I feel like it was the kind of place that would be on the news for having escaped animals or for being shut down by the government kind of thing. I'll ask my mom about it, because it was kind of cool, but kind of sad. Fucking fishing rods. Oh shit. Praying mantis. You know I want this mantis. Nice, got him. I actually kind of love praying mantises. When I was a kid, I wrote a speech about it for 4th grade. That's actually one of the first times I remember using the internet. Is go on the internet, type in praying mantis, and this webpage just shows up with like a blue background and like a shitty PNG of a praying mantis in the corner. And it just has some like details about praying mantises. And yeah, I wrote my speech with that website. Oh, frig off, beef. Get the fuck out of here. Just flies away. God. Yeah, early internet. don't know how into the internet I was growing up. I feel like it wasn't really a big deal to me, other than like, go to a friend's house and we're playing Grand Theft Auto, but they know all the cheat codes because they got them online. I remember map questing, using MapQuest to help find good directions to go somewhere in the countryside. Instead of the classic directions of like, stay on this highway until you see the old barn. Although we'd mix that in too. The old barn. Almost got me. Oof. Almost wasn't ready for it. Wonder how much a sea bass is worth. Still got some room, so let's keep fishing here. You guys fish in real life? When I was a kid, I used to fish. Until I think one day the hook went too far into the fish's mouth. And then like when I pulled on it, the hook went through the fish's eye. And getting that hook out was just a whole thing. So I never really fished just for sport again. I think I have eaten a fish that I caught once. We were out at a cottage and I caught a big enough fish. Whoa, squid. Yeah. I caught a big enough fish that my mom's boyfriend at the time was like, hey, we could probably eat that. So we ate the fish. And, I mean, it was like good enough and stuff, but it was also very bony. I don't know how much experience he had deboning fish or filleting fish. Like, I've never done that, but I've watched videos about it. It's kind of what goes with one of the things that I think about when I kind of like have a dream of becoming a wanderer, a vagabond who just explores, just goes with the flow, and it's kind of unrealistic because how am I gonna eat and get water for living? But maybe I could do it if I could catch fish along the way. So I've watched multiple videos about gutting and cleaning fish. Fuck. And I feel like butchering a fish is more pleasant than any animal. I haven't watched videos about how to skin like rabbits or birds, other than like homesteading videos. I don't know if you guys watch that, where like a lot of homesteaders get chickens, and yeah, when they harvest them, they're always a little bit sad, but they have like 60 of them. And what do they do? With chickens, it's like, imagine a washing machine, the kind that's like a big bucket that spins, that you would load from like the top down. And yeah, it's like that, but it has like a bunch of like rubber spiky things that come out, and it just tumbles the chicken around and rips all the feathers out. That, or you can boil them and then pull them out by hand. But if I was on the road, I don't know how much I could boil a bird. If I was to, I don't know, have a BB gun with me and then like shoot a wild bird to eat. Wonder how realistic that would be. I think that would be harder than just catching a fish. But if there was no lakes or ponds around, maybe that would have to be what I would do. But then, I don't know, it gets to be a whole thing, carrying a BB gun around. Turns out society is not ready for it. When I was in high school, I'm going to tell you a story about locking down the school. Me and my buddy Eric, we had, well, he had this like BB gun because I think he like mowed lawns or whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna buy the expensive BB gun, and he did. It was like a long rifle type gun. It was black with a silver barrel. And it was a bit of a pain. You had to pump it up like 10 times to get its maximum velocity. But it could shoot apparently like 100 meters with accuracy. But he didn't have a scope on it, so we'd just pump it up like 4 or 5 times and then shoot it like, I don't know, 10 or 15 meters at a can. And that's what we would do sometimes. We'd just go to this field next to his house and shoot cans and stuff. And yeah, it was like a soon-to-be construction kind of site. So there was like pallets of bricks and like dirt and stuff. Anyways, to get there we had to walk through like a cornfield and then through like not a real wood, but like the kind that like separates properties kind of wood. And when we did that, it was like hot and we were sweaty. So by the time we get to the place that we actually shoot the cans, the fort, we built a shitty fort over there. We were tired, and after shooting cans for a while and being like, alright, it's time to leave, instead of going back the way we came, we could just go south a bit, and then that's where the neighborhood would be. But normally we don't walk through the neighborhood because we have a BB gun, and we're like, kind of worried about it. But since it was so hot, we didn't want to walk through the field again. So we walked through the neighborhood. Everything seemed fine. Apparently, someone was driving by, recognized me, and saw the BB gun and thought it was a real gun. Which, you know, in today's day and age, I should have known better. But I guess I was just a young lad back then. And I was just like, it'll be fine. Come on. Who just carries around a real gun? But, yeah. They thought it was real, so they called the police. And, like, I don't know, 15 minutes or half an hour go by. And we're in his house playing Halo. And Eric starts getting text messages from Donovan. Because the school is on lockdown. And Donovan just knew that it was us. Which is kind of funny. But, yeah, school is on lockdown. There's a helicopter flying around in the area. And we go out into the front yard and we see SWAT police searching one of the forests down the street closer to the high school. But still, like, kind of far from us. So I guess in their minds, we probably walked along the street that the person saw us on. And then went towards the school, and maybe we're hiding in the woods on the way to the school. And they're like, those kids out there are gonna do a school shooting. But no, that's not actually what's happening. So it took them a while. I think police showed up at my house, and my mother, they asked my mom where I was, and she told them where Eric lives. She's like, he's probably with his friend Eric, which, yeah, was true. And they told her, they're like, alright, well, don't call him, don't tell him that we're looking for him. And she's like, oh, okay. And then as soon as they leave, she calls me and she's like, Andrew, the police are coming for you. Did you do something? What's happening? And I'm like, oh my god. So, thanks for that heads up. We found the BB gun, and we were like, alright, gotta make sure that, like, safety's on and it's, like, not ready to shoot or anything stupid for when these guys show up. And they do come, and they knock on the door, and they're a little bit dicks. Like, the first thing they say to us, they're like, so, why are my boots all muddy? And Eric and I, we don't know what to say to that. It's like, I don't know, like, because you guys are stupid and searched in the wrong area. But, yeah, they're just like, okay, well, let's look at this BB gun, and they confirmed that it was a BB gun. And they're like, well, you guys technically didn't break any laws because BB guns are just toys, not firearms. So it's okay. And we didn't get into like any real trouble, but they're like, just don't do anything dumb from here. So they left, and they were like kind of jerks, but I get it. And yeah, school lockdown was lifted, and I think they had to, like, all the students and staff had to stay at that school for like an extra hour or hour and a half while that was all going down. I remember the next day, like, everybody was complaining about it. They're like, fucking lockdown. Who's the idiot that, like, doing stupid shit? It's one of those funny things that happens to everybody, right? Who doesn't put their school on lockdown by accident? Alright, let's donate all this materials. Whoa, pinball machine. Cool paint flooring. Cool. Alright, perfect location for the shop. Okay. So, the shop. It's kind of like, where do I want to build this? Like, let's have a look at our map. Right? Because right now everything's in this bottom corner. And it's a little bit cramped, I feel, but maybe that's just how it'll be. It's like, this is where civilization is. Down here. Maybe I'll just put it to the left of my house a bit. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Put it to, like, around here-ish area. It's probably fine. Fill in the space between the resident service and the, that guy's house. Let's have a look here. Kinda don't wanna lose my apple trees, though. God, it takes so much space. And the river is kind of in the way, so I can't just have it, like, nicely lined up. Could I just build it right next to... I mean, this would kind of work. It's just kind of yuck, you know? Like, right next door, really? Fuck. I guess I'm just gonna put it right next door, because I'm a loser like that. Let's have a look. Yeah. Alright, let's do it. Alright, well, I think, I don't know how long this episode's been going on, but thanks for watching, guys. See you later.